1579 Benedict Canyon Drive is a familiar address to Superman fans. It's the former home of George Reeves, and we are honored today to have the current owner of that home in attendance, Mr. Michael Chasteen, and we have a special award for Michael. One more picture. There you go.
Great. Terrific.
You want to say anything? Yeah, sure. Go, be my guest.
Oh, well, thanks, Jim, Brad. It's great to be here. Got to compose myself. This is an emotional place to live. So I'll draw from the strength of George to get through it. My wife and I bought the house over 25 years ago. I wish I'd known about this organization sooner, but nevertheless, here we are today. Just to let you know a little history, I bought the house from Phil Alden Robinson. Phil wrote the screenplay for Field of Dreams in this house. So many of you probably didn't know that. He was renting the house to an actress named Christy Swanson, who was the original Buffy and the Vampire Slayer. She had stalkers, so there was quite a bit of activity around the house for her, probably alongside with a lot of you that would come to pay homage to the home. But and I was a junior at the University of Kansas in 1975, so that letter from Lawrence, Kansas brought back memories. I saw Noelle when she did her college tour there. Anyway, this is really neat. I talked to Jim about doing a plaque here. I guess we're still kind of talking about it. I got off of it a bit, but for legal reasons, but it's a happy place. And I'm proud to say that I've kept the integrity of the home just as it was, and replaced some of the windows that had some dry rot with the same type of windows. Haven't changed a thing. I'm an architect, so I have a tendency to want to change things, but it's remained the same. I will continue to keep it that way as long as we're there. I sleep every night in the master bedroom. I've never been visited by George. I must say, when we bought the home, I didn't know it was George Reeves' home. And we'd been looking, this is in 97, and we'd lived up the canyon. We were renting. In any case, I kept looking at this one particular house, and I told the agent, and we looked all around for a house. And finally, I just said, hey, this is the one. And then the agent, of course, when it came time to get down to getting serious about the offer and getting into escrow, she said, I've got some disclosures to make. Wow. So when she hit us with the history, I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and we said, we're going to do it. Anyway, sorry I'm too emotional, but I've got, Phil sent me a picture of George with his dog. That's back there in the back, and I've got that framed. And then the other one with him in the driveway and the big black car there, I've got framed in the house. And I've never sought to make any type of monetary gain off of the property, even though I know I could. But sorry, and I don't know if I'm taking up your time, but anyway, does anybody have any questions? If anybody have any questions?
I would just like to say that in 2014, when many of us and many more gathered in the Garland ballroom, a small group of us went to your home. My husband and I dodged away, but someone knocked on your door, and I would just like to thank you for how gracious you were when a group of strangers walked up to your door. You pulled out a piece of old fencing that I still have, still intend to frame.
Oh, yeah.
And just thank you so much for how gracious you were in welcoming us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was a wonderful experience.
You're welcome.
The fellow you bought the house from, did he get it from the estate, or did it go through multiple?
I think Phil had owned it, I bought it in 97. I think Phil owned it about 10 years, and I believe he got it out of the estate. As many of you know, it was in disrepair for quite some time, in the 60s and 70s. I don't think anybody wanted to go near it. And then there was a mob attorney that owned it for a short period of time, and I knew his name. I knew all the history at some point. Like many of us, my memory's not that great anymore, but so each window has a shock alarm. Each window has a magnetized alarm system. It's got an elaborate alarm system because of the attorney that had been living there in the 70s into the 80s. Even at that time, there's still the remains of what they used to have. Light beams, infrared beams across the floor. There's a pad at the master bedroom, on the master bedroom floor, that sets off an alarm if somebody steps on it. It's a very sophisticated alarm system. It's dated now, so I know that he had put quite a bit of money into the alarm system, and then I think Phil might have done. There's an improvement in the kitchen, a really nice kitchen improvement. Other than that, it's all intact, the same from what I can tell from interior photographs, and so on. So, but yeah, I think did I answer your question? Yeah, I think Phil lived there about 10 years, and then again had nothing negative to say about his experience there. Again, writing he wrote the screenplay in the library.
Michael, I want to thank you for being so kind and generous with us in 2018 when we dropped in on you. It was a wonderful experience. It was very good.
Well, I saw the look on everybody's face, and I thought, you traveled. And Jim was actually, I trust Jim.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of you, and I didn't even know Jim, but I trusted Jim. And I looked at all of you, and I thought, you know what? Come on in. And
I just echo the same comments from around the room. I think being an architect and the fact that you really held up the kind of the spirit of if George Reeves were around, having people just walk up and just want to be in that presence.
yeah,
It's nice that you're able to do that, and the fact that you're not making any money off the thing, other than the fact that this isn't for many of us like a shrine. So it's just really nice that you took your time to do this and let us all in on it.
you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, when I bought it, some of my friends, I've worked for Disney and I worked at Warner Brothers for a while. Some of my friends in the entertainment industry said, "You bought that house?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Dude, it's haunted." And so I must say, initially I thought, what have we done? But, in any case, yeah. Gosh, terrific. Anything else?
Did you ever have a backyard barbecue or anything?
Time is running out on all of us. We might just do something like that. It's unfortunately I have a second part to me, my wife, and she makes really. I mean, if it's just me, I'm saying, come on over after this, and we'll do it. But I have to run it by her, and she's in Nevada at our other house, and so if this gets on the internet, then I'd be in deep trouble. There was just one other thing I wanted to say, and I will say that I have my own, after being there for so long, I do have a solid theory as to what I believe happened. And I did, after talking to Jim and a couple of you, after I found out about this thing, I went over and saw Jack Larson and visited with him. Being an architect, he had a really cool Frank Lloyd Wright house, a Sturgis house, which unfortunately didn't have the money to keep up. But anyway, I visited Jack a couple of times. And we sat in the carport. In closing, there's a big oak tree in the back of our yard, right in center with the house, a big coastal California oak. It was pretty big when I got there. When we moved in, there was a big great horned owl sitting in that tree. And it's been 25 years or more, and so it's gotten bigger. So I just think of that as George.